All right, boom. What's happening, folks? Thank you for your time. I had a really dope intro. I did too. Now I had to redo it because my software was messing up on me. So hey, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, man. Subscribe, do what you got to do. Most importantly, pay attention. Right now, this video was called "Why Are Black People on Welfare?" Why are so many black people? Now, you would like to assume that we're on welfare because motherfuckers want to assume that we're lazy and we don't want to do shit, right? Excuse me while I take a drink of my delicious beverage. Mm. Y'all need to get you some of this blueberries, strawberries, peaches, mangoes, water. That's it. That's all it is. Throw that shit in the blender. That shit is food for your soul. So, like I said, excuse me. Like I said, this video right here is called "Why Are So Many Black Folks on Welfare?" Now, um, the general stereotypical answer for that is people, like I said, would like to assume that we're just lazy, right? That we don't want to do shit. Um, and of course, non-blacks think just that, right? Obviously, not all of them. I'm not going to paint with a broad stroke. I know some understand what it is and they get it, but like I said, majority of folks think that way, and statistics say so. And just walking outside, you understand what it is, right? So the main reason why I wanted to make this video is just because not only do I disagree is that we're not lazy, we're far from lazy. We actually, not only did we build this country, United States, but we built many other civilizations, right? Um, and then many timeless civilizations. You know what I'm saying? I can start from the Kemets, the Nubians, Timbuktus. I can keep going. Malis, the Carthaginians. I can keep going. It can just keep going. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing it for a while. We were the first ones here, so I understand that. Now, the thing is this though. In today's society, uh, there is no balance in regards to the corporate world. There is no balance in just everyday jobs in regards to the races and demographics of the people that live within this country. Now, when it comes to us as African Americans specifically, it's just black people, dark skinned people, whatever you want to call us, whatever you want to call us. I'm a dark man, but to y'all, we're blacks, Negroes, whatever the fuck. Either way, um, there is, our statistics are significantly high when it comes to it. And so I'm going to show y'all why it is that way. Now, before I do that, I want to stress the fact that this is not, when I do this shit, this is not just to tell y'all what I think. It's just to tell y'all what's going on. And it's either you got to pick a side, right? You understand when something's going on, you got to understand where you at in all the action, right? But this type of action is very tedious, but it's very serious, right? Every day, every moment, every minute counts. I never knew that, but the older I get, the more I realize that because every day one of mine dies, right? Every day one of my babies, every day one of my brothers, one of my sisters, one of my mothers, one of my fathers, if they're not going to jail, they're getting shot down in the street. They're not getting shot down in the street. They're being treated unfairly in the corporate world. They're not being treated unfairly in the corporate world. Somebody's going to try to run some kind of game in the entertainment world, pimp them the same way they pimp us on the football field, the same way they pimp us on the NBA field, the same way they try to pimp us when we do music. Anything that we do, the same way they pimped us with picking cotton. I can keep going in regards to the way we are pimped when it comes to any type of dealings with white supremacy, right? So my thing is this. I'm going to show y'all the statistics, and I'm going to show y'all this because it's not based on my opinion. These statistics are not even people that look like me who wrote these. These are scholars. These are professors in y'all's fields. So you guys deem them smart, right? I don't, but y'all deem them smart. So that's why I'm going to use their sources. I'm going to use their statistics. You see, unfortunately, due to the things that I'm about to show y'all, which is why you don't see a black statistic company running around out here. It's because of the reasons of the shit I'm about to show you right now. And that's the reason why most of us don't have jobs. That's the reason why most of us do turn to crime. And specifically, not just any type of crime, we turn to survival crime. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between just raping a woman and then or robbing that woman. Just not raping her, just taking the money, taking a purse. Difference, right? I'm not saying we ain't out here fucking doing some wild shit. But my point is that a lot of times in our environments, the crimes that take place from the drug dealing to protecting your block or whatever you want to call it, your trap spot, whatever it is, these are survival crimes because that money is going to pay rent, right? If it's not paying rent, half it's probably going to go to the Cadillac or whatever fucking car just because you're a dope boy. But my point is, these are survival crimes. These are not just crimes of just to have some goddamn fun. Now, unfortunately, some of these kids have lost their damn minds, and now this is something that's instinctually ingrained because they've been living in such violent and crime provoking areas and environments. So it becomes second nature, like it would be for any person if their dad's dad and their mom's mom, if y'all grew up in neighborhoods where it was just crime infested. So my point is that the neglect and lack of will definitely produce that. Hence, Tupac, Thug Life, the hate you give little infants fucks everybody. That's what Thug Life stood for us growing up. Is the hate that you gave us will fuck us all because at the end of the day, that little motherfucker, that little black dude that y'all call a little nigger, whatever the fuck y'all want to call him, and he's neglected and put in jail cells and whatever the fuck, as soon as he gets a chance, he will take that out on somebody, right? And if it's not one of his own, it's going to be the opposite. And that's not good for anybody, right? So this is why I'm stating these things is because the neglect is evident. You see, it's like I'm gonna show y'all the breadcrumbs, right? Because you see, white America's not lost, so y'all don't see the breadcrumbs. Y'all not looking for the breadcrumbs. You understand what I'm saying? If white America was lost, then you would see these breadcrumbs, right? If you guys were lost, or if the Asians, Mexicans will see these breadcrumbs, right? They will see these breadcrumbs that I'm about to throw down. But see, if you ain't lost, you won't notice them. You don't even know they're there. You walk right past, you probably step on them because you don't understand. Because the people that control all the shit, they look like you, so they have you in favor because you resemble them. You're still part of them. Whether you are the lowest part of their totem pole, you're still part of them. For example, in trailer trash, you know what I'm saying, like white low class people, they're still part of the white supremacy. They're the ones that got them the presidency this last election. You know what I'm saying? The Roy Moores and the Trumps, the Rex, whatever, the Rex Lynn, whatever the fuck that guy's name, Rex something. All of them dudes. Steve Bannon, all them cats. They were representing you know what I'm saying, the secretive rich racist motherfuckers, and then also the low class racist motherfuckers. That's who they represented. The trailer trash people. Motherfuckers sitting in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Drinking goddamn Budweiser, watching Daytona. Whatever the fuck y'all call it. That's who won them the presidency. So they still need them. They still use them. They still need them because they resemble them. So they are not, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're going to throw them at the bottom. But like I said, the motherfuckers are still not only proud, not only proud as fuck, they proud as fuck over there. With Trump's, hey, they were loving that shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when it comes to my demographic of folks, I look at the numbers and the numbers don't match up. The same way the numbers don't match up when it comes to the NBA and how many black people play on the court, as opposed to how many black people actually own a basketball team, or how many ex-basketball players actually own a stadium, right? They're just as imbalanced as the numbers of how many black football players you see on that field. But do any of them own a team? So, are any of them general managers? No. No. So these are the things that I see even in the corporate world. These numbers that are night and day difference, right? So y'all walk with me, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna chop it up. I'm gonna show y'all these things. Like I said, this is not my opinion. I'm showing y'all numbers. I'm showing y'all numbers. So you can get, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny too with the comments. You know, a lot of people, at least, you know, there's a lot of smart people who have got at least, I don't want to call y'all smart. I don't want to give you that much credit. I'm just fucking with you. But at the end of the day, like you guys, you know, some folks, I appreciate your comments. Y'all got, you know, y'all have good heads on your shoulders because, and I can tell, it's like whether y'all agree or not, you understand what I'm coming from and you see my points, you know? So, like, I appreciate that. I get that from white, black, you know what I'm saying? All shades, you know. But like I said, I appreciate it when even a white person will get on there and go, "Hey, I see what you're saying, bro," and that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I wish there's a way I could change it. And I tell people all the time, especially white people, that how we change these things because you have to understand we're not blaming people. You got to understand that. That's why I say you got to realize that this shit's going on and we are being used, right? You are being used as a tool, as an extra man, as a body for these people. So it's either you separate yourself from it, or you know what I'm saying, you stay ignorant to the fact and then benefit, but then you wonder why we don't mix, right? You wonder why I start going this way, you start going that way, right? Or at least when I start going this way, you stand there going, what the fuck? What's up with him? Well, like I said, you know, the world treats me different than you. And like I said, the ones that don't understand that, y'all don't see the breadcrumbs because you ain't looking for them. You're not lost. Your folks are taking care of you. Now, whether you're okay with that or not, that's up to you. You understand what I'm saying? That's like, let me give you a good example. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say Hitler had a kid, which I'm sure a motherfucker had some kids, but you know, we don't know who they are. But let's say Hitler had a kid, right? All that power Hitler had, that kid was benefiting off of that shit, right? Now, what I'm saying is that if that kid was old enough to understand that what his dad is doing is fucked up, so it's either he stays with his dad and reaps the benefits and the advantages and you know the advantages of being fucking Hitler, knowing how fucked up his daddy was, or he separates from him. Not gonna find him, but he separates from him. He can find him if he wants to, but he separates from him to go, look, I don't stand for that, right? Just because we look alike does not mean I stand for that supremacy and racism that exists, that has been existing. So it's like, it's either you, like I said, it's either you ignore that fact and you know the shit's going on and you go, well, I'm glad I'm white and it's not affecting me, and you move on with your life. You know what I'm saying? More power to you. Hope you don't run into me. And then, or you go, man, it's fucked up. How can we change this shit? Understand what I'm saying? So my point is that you ignore, you know what I'm saying, you disregard, you're just as liable as the ones that are doing it. You gotta understand that there's a war going on and you gotta pick a side. I didn't want this shit. I was just born. I was just born in this shit. But I know how I'm gonna live, though. I know how I'm gonna live, and it's up to you. How do you wanna live? You wanna be that, you know, those monkey see, monkey, you just sit there and do this shit? One like this, the other one like this, the other one like this. Y'all wanna do that shit for your whole lives and just coast and then die in a retirement home and, you know what I'm saying? And just go out all fucking boring like that? Go right ahead. You have all the right to. Just understand that if you see this video and you hear what I'm saying, and you want, and even if you think that I'm a nobody, I can't make any changes, you actually fucking can. You actually can, especially if you look opposite than me. You definitely can. By seeing these imbalances in our society, you are cognitive and you are conscious of them. And if you are conscious of them, especially if it's something that you empathize with, not sympathize, not pity, you empathize, because you empathize, you are putting yourself in them shoes going, what if that was me? So imagine understanding that and then going back out in the world. You'll figure out a way to make your difference. Everybody can make a difference. It's just up to you to figure out what is your difference and how can you make that difference. Small, medium, or large, as long as you make the difference. But now, if you sit with this information in your head and you go, man, he's right about this. Like he's right. Like it is kind of fucked up. Like You know what I'm saying? Like most black people are kind of poor. If they're not gangster, they're just doing this. Like it's all kind of fucked up. Yeah, some are doing okay, but at the end of the day, there was a huge imbalance. But I ain't gonna say shit. So I'm saying, if you do that, understand you are just as fucking guilty as the ones that do the shit. What do you look like? You see a woman getting raped, but then you just close your eyes and do all this shit and act like just because it ain't your wife or it ain't your daughter. You are just as, to me, you just as guilty as that rapist. You just as fucking guilty. If you sit there and let some shit happen that you know you wouldn't want to happen to your kids, you wouldn't want your kids to live, you wouldn't want your wife, your sister, your father, your mother, you wouldn't want your family to live through, even you. But you going, just because it ain't me, I'm good. Like I said, it speaks more to who you are as a person. I'm not trying to say run out here and play savior, but like I said, in your society, in your community, you can always figure out a way to impact and make a difference. There's always something. That's like my daddy's telling me, there's always work. Always do something. You can always find something to do. Don't tell me there ain't shit to do. I'm bored. You can always find something to work on. So, with that being said, let's get to the business. Let's get to the stats. Why are dark-skinned people significantly in welfare and getting government assistance? Like I said, stereotypically, ignorant people like to assume we're just lazy. Fuck you for that, but that ain't true, and I'm gonna show you why. So this is what it is. So I'm gonna bring y'all to the first article that was written by Professor G. William Domhoff. He's a sociology. He's in the sociology department of the University of California in Santa Cruz, and along with one of his partners, Richard L. Zwigenhoff of Guilford College. Like I said, I'm bringing you these statistics because these are institutions of knowledge that y'all recognize as credible and deemed credible. So, you know, I'm gonna give y'all what y'all recognize, right? Because if I come with my sources, y'all gonna be like, "Oh, this is twisted." Da, 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 da. So I'm gonna grab white people's sources, so I can talk to everybody else about this shit, so y'all can understand that these are not fabricated. I'm not just grabbing bullshit. Even that's what I'm saying. Even your own are doing this research and putting this shit out there. Now, okay, so now let's get to the good parts here. Now, for many years, Bill Domhoff and I have kept an eye and tried to understand diversity in the corporate elite. Now, what we're going to do before I keep reading is, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys the nature and the climate of the corporate world, right? Because if we want to talk about welfare, if we want to talk about jobs, we want to talk about unemployment statistics, we want to talk about government assistance, then we want to talk about what is the solution to that, right? And that is a job, a dependable job at that, right? Not even a job, but a job opportunity. That's what is the green light. That is the light at the end of the tunnel for welfare. Job, a steady job, a good job, right? Opportunity to get a job, not even just to have one, but to know that if you lose one, I can go get another one. That's what helps people sleep at night. Understand? So we're gonna jump into the corporate world first. Let's jump into the corporate world. Let's get into the climate of the corporate world, what it has been looking like, what it is looking like, and then what it's forecasted to look like. And then, like I said, in the back of your mind, keep in mind in regards to the topic of this video, black people and welfare. Black people with jobs, lack of job opportunity, all that shit. Think of that while I read these articles to y'all, because I want you guys to be able to correlate. These are the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs. Come in. All right. So, like I was saying, this was by Bill Domhoff and Richard Zwigenhoff. God damn. So these cats, I'm glad. Look, I'm just joking around, but I really do respect what they did because, like I said, I am able to see these numbers, and like I said, what I'm trying to figure out here, what I'm trying to get done, is to where there is, you know, black funded and black companies that have statistics. Like I said, a data company that with black people. Like I'd love to pull up that website, but I can't find it. Right. And then when it comes to even these references and my sources, I want to bring y'all sources that y'all can look at and go, well, I mean, I don't want y'all to go, oh, y'all, you grabbing you black, so you gonna grab another black dude shit, or you gonna grab another. No, I'm gonna grab a credible and respected people in y'all's fields, and I'm gonna present my case, right? So now, Bill Domhoff and Richard Zwangoft, they have kept an eye on trying to understand the diversity in the corporate elite. Now, why did it happen? Does it matter? Our work in the early 1980s led us to conclude that one previously excluded group, Jews, were becoming a part of the corporate elite. A shocker back then, given the level of anti Semitism that persisted into the 1960s. Well, I mean, it's not shocking to me because America is the one that helped solidify Israel in 1948. So, I mean, it only makes sense to me. They started, they shook hands there and they've been friends ever since, sharing the Quran and the Bible ever since. I mean, look, the goddamn Pope, where's the yarmulke? So I don't know what else to tell y'all about. But by now, commonplace, Zwanghoff and Domforth, then in the first edition of a book about a group of low-income black students who attended elite prep schools through a foundation and corporate borders, it was not likely that very many blacks would become CEOs of Fortune nation. However, you'd like to think it's going to get good, right? So check this out. However, the appointment of 14 black CEOs of Fortune 500 companies between 1999 and 2010 revealed how wrong we were. I thought that was cool as shit at first. Intrigued. I mean, to be honest, not really. To be honest, not really. 14. Intrigued by these appointments and by increasing number of appointments by white women, Latinos, Asian Americans as CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. We focused on the changes that had taken place at the CEO level in our 2011 book, The New CEOs, which comes out in paperback March whatever 2014. In this document, I take updated look at the diversity in the corporate elite. I begin by briefly discussing the appointments of the new CEOs between 2011 January 15, 2014, which brings the accumulated total of non-white male CEOs to 109 since the early 1990s, when there were only two or three. Next, I search out the non-white males who were directors of the Fortune 500 companies in 2011, as well as those diversifiers who sat on the boards of trustees of one or more of four key policy groups that very much a part of the intertwined corporate network, Business Roundtable, Business Council, Brookings Institution, and the Council of Foreign Relations. Now we're gonna dig into that. I'm gonna touch on them just a little bit in regards to who they are, what their intentions are, and of course why they hold so much power, right? Because of the rulings of the Supreme Court made in 2013 that endangered the voting rights of people of color and called into question the continuation of affirmative action policies in higher education, this most current look at diversity in the corporate world may take on particular importance. Moreover, as my new findings show, the trends at the top have reversed directions with one exception. I thought this story was about to get good. The heyday of diversity already may have come and gone. At the least, things were in the twilight zone as of early 2014. Now, folks, like I said, I thought it was gonna get good. I thought I was gonna see rainbows and sunshines and us, walking, out to the sunset on the way to the damn office, right? But that's not the case. The new CEOs, 2000 through early 2014. By the time we sent off the final manuscript for the hardback edition of the new CEOs in early spring 2011, we had identified 74 new CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Since then, we have added 35 to our list, and we continue to track these appointments. And it's a good thing we keep on tracking because it turns out that recently there have been very different patterns for white women CEOs as opposed to the African American, Latino, and Asian American CEOs. The number of white women who were CEOs in each year since 2000 increased at a fairly dramatic rate. In 2000, there were 4 white women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and as of January 15, 2014, there were 23, an almost six-fold increase. So white women, y'all was doing y'all's thing. Y'all came up 2000 to 2014, hence 2017. You know, you guys are, you guys have made leaps and bounds. Sexual harassment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are locking up these rich, you know what I'm saying? These rich white dudes and the corporate guys and the Russell Simmons, all of them. Y'all are getting them. So white women are coming up. White women are coming up, and who would have known um, that in 2000 there were only 4 white women CEOs? Like, I've always known that white women aren't respected, just as much. But obviously, like I said, they are still their women, so they're gonna keep them somewhere close. But damn sure not close enough. You see what I'm saying? Um, I mean, hence the climate we're in right now in regards to this whole sexual harassment thing. White women have always been just trophy wives to the elite, to them type of white people. I've always just been trophy wives. I've always just been vagina and big fake titties. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally how it's done. So and I live in a place where you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of trophy wives running around here. Or at least where I'm living, not where I'm from, but where I'm living. There's a lot of that. So I'm not just making this shit up. I see this shit all the time. So, yes, there's some women that are professionals, but like I said, most of the time that's not why they're married. Yeah, I mean, if anything, that woman changed her mind and decided that she wanted to be professional in the middle of the marriage. But for the most part, it's usually, if she whatever she does, um, it's just behind him, right? So I assumed it was the same way in the office. Anyway, however, a new and unexpected pattern has emerged for the other underrepresented groups. By the end of 2013, diversity in the CEO position had declined for them. Number of African American CEOs dropped from its peak of 7 in 2007 to 6. Oh, goddamn. The number of Latinos from 13 in 2008 to 10, and the number of Asian Americans from 15 in 2011 to 10. The trajectories for white women and people of color as CEOs are summarized below. So let's look at these stats right here, folks. So basically, you see white women, they came up around 2006. Their numbers started shooting up a little bit. 2007, they still went up. 2008, shot up a little bit, shot back down 2010, and then they had a significant rise 2010 and onward. Asian Americans have been significantly low, shot up around 2010, and then had a significant drop 2013. It might be a little different for them now, though. I'd like to assume. But African Americans, you see what that's at. You see what that's at, right? So, so now, if we want to talk about job opportunities, and we want to ask ourselves, why are a lot of black people on welfare? Now, like I said, now we just jumped to the other side of the spectrum. This is the corporate world, right? This is the top. This is the top of the top when it comes to jobs, right? And obviously, all this shit funnels all the way down to the motherfucker working at McDonald's. My point is, these are the shot callers. These are the ones that make the rules. And we see the numbers. We know the numbers at the bottom. Now you know the numbers at the top. Now ask yourself, why are so many black people on welfare? Why you're looking at this fucking graph right here that shows you no significant increase of CEO African American. Ask yourself, soak the shit in. I'll give you a second. All right, there. Now, diversity on the corporate boards. With those findings in mind, let's turn to corporate directors. Board of directors were the first part of the corporate elite to diversify, right? Starting way back in the 1960s. Now, of course, in the 1960s, they were the first to diversify, but it's like, we ain't gonna say that as if one day they woke up and said, man, we need to diversify. In the 1960s, the civil rights movement was going on. So they were forced to diversify because they didn't want to look like assholes. That's the only reason why. So, anyway, perhaps that's because the boards usually have anywhere from 10 to 20 members and are not on the firing line every minute of every day in the way that the CEOs are. There's room for a few tokens on boards. Boom. See what I'm saying? Who can be used to signal that the company is sympathetic to diversity. Moreover, such directors can provide buffers, ambassadors, and legitimacy in dealing with nearby neighborhoods of color, active organizations, and represent women of color, political parties, and government officials. So when you watch a commercial and when you see a corporate, suit and ties, and you see that one black dude, that's the fucking dude they're talking about right there. You know, when you watch Trump shit and you always see that one, just that one ugly black dude, Uncle Tom ass motherfucker. You see him? I don't know what his name is. But when you see that one, remember Omarosa used to be one of them. There was two of them, right? It was Omarosa and then that big-headed motherfucker. I don't know what his name is. But like I said, when you see that shit, this is what they were talking about. Right here. They're talking about this. Talking about this right here. He said there's room for a few tokens on board who can be used to signal that the company is sympathetic to diversity. So bring Omarosa in here so they know that we're cool with black people. Hey, call Steve Harvey. We want to have a meeting with him. That's so we can show him. You see what I'm saying? That's the shit I'm talking about. That's the shit I'm talking about. And then if you want to take that a step further in regards to, even fucking billionaires, right? The only ex-basketball player that owns a basketball team, not even own a basketball team, that owns somewhat of a basketball team. It's not even majority. He doesn't even own majority. He only owns 48, 49%. Michael Jordan. That's the only basketball player out of all the basketball players that have played basketball and made money. That's the only motherfucker who's able to own at least 48% of a goddamn team. That's that guy. That's that guy I was telling you about right here. So they can feel sympathetic. They can look sympathetic. That's Jordan they talking about. The tokens. So they can signal that the company, well, they got Jordan here. So they're not that bad, right? You know what I'm saying? Moreover, such directors can provide buffers, ambassadors. I read all that. Okay, from the 1970s to the early 2000s, some white women and people of color served on 5 to 9 corporate boards at a time, which is one reason why, along with the fact that many lacked business experience. Domhoff and I concluded that they played a different role than many white male directors. For evidence on this point, take a look at this section. So if the decline in people of color in the CEO executive suites between 2007 and early 2014 is just a blip, we would expect to see continuing diversification of corporate boards and on even larger boards of the corporate policy groups as well. The next section presents the results of the most detailed study to date of diversity among the Fortune 500 and policy group directors. Okay, now let's look at the Fortune 500 directors. Let's see how much diversity they got going. Examining corporate boards in the early 1980s and then again in the 1990s, it looked as if the increasing diversity that we and others found was very likely due to the social movements of 1960s, particularly the civil rights and feminist movements. In addition to determining the most recent numbers and percentages for women, African Americans, Latinos, and Asian Americans, this new study compares the demographics of people who sit on 1, 2, or more than 2 corporate boards to see if women and people of color are underrepresented or overrepresented among the interlocutors. Database included all of the 4,512 directors of Fortune 500 companies in 2011, and another 407 people who were directors of one of the policies group, but not Fortune 500 directors. Thus, the total sample was 4,919. Okay, so this is the part. This is the part right here. So, as might be expected, it was still the case that the large majority of corporate directors in 2011 were white males, 74.4%. Group with the second highest frequency was the white women, 13. That's the second highest, 13 goddamn percent. 13%, 74%. That looks like the basketball numbers, bro. That looks like those NFL numbers. That looks like Congress numbers, House numbers. That looks like college professor numbers. That looks like college institution numbers. That looks like prison numbers. I can keep going. I can keep going. These are all different, as I'm saying, all these different imbalances in all these different levels of society that mainly affect us. And y'all motherfuckers want to ask why are so many black people on welfare? Well, that's because since 2011, which I'm pretty sure this number ain't changed too much, look how many people are in the are corporate directors. Okay, as did the findings presented earlier on white women's continuing ascent to CEO positions, that they may have been the greatest beneficiaries of the push for affirmative action that began in the 1960s. So studies actually show that literally white women are actually the ones that benefited more when Martin Luther King died and was doing what he was doing. White women benefited more when Huey Newton was shot and killed, and the Black Panther movement was going. Somehow, white women ended up benefiting more than the people the civil rights movement was for. Now, you want to tell me, yo? I mean, I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying right now. I don't think y'all get it. During the civil rights movement, and affirmative action was being pushed heavy. And based on these numbers, you see who actually benefited more statistically compared to the demographic that affirmative action was for. Shit blows my mind. However, in terms of equality opportunity, white women are still far behind than white men. Well, of course, but y'all are married to white men, so y'all go home to them. In 2010, the U.S. Census found that 36.8% of Americans were white men and 37.8% were white women. Therefore, white males were overrepresented by a ratio of 2.0. Well, of course, that's hence white supremacy, hence systematic fucking oppression. That's what I'm saying. So it's like y'all can't watch this shit, and then that's what I'm saying. It's like, and then look at me and go, you just mad, or you just hate white people. It's like, look at these fucking numbers, bro. Like, y'all look at these goddamn numbers. What the fuck am I supposed to think if half of us are sitting in jail and then the other half of us ain't got no jobs? And then I look at these numbers, 74% of y'all run the fucking corporate industry, and then way behind the line, you're women. Where the fuck are we at? And then you wonder why the shit is the way it is. Like, this shit blows my mind. And y'all wonder why the shit is the way it is. But see, y'all don't know these numbers. You know why? It's because y'all only know maybe one fucking black person in your whole life. And if you do know him, y'all barely talk to him. If you do, that motherfucker comes to your house, y'all don't go to his house. If he even lives in that type of neighborhood. If he hadn't already ran off and came to the suburbs to save his life. Like most of us do. Y'all don't know these fucking numbers. Y'all don't know how we live. Half of y'all don't even. Y'all say, "Oh, I got a black friend. You fucking talk to that black friend every other fucking month. If you do, you don't go live with him. You don't see what he comes from. If you did, if more of y'all did, we would not have this fucking. I wouldn't be talking about this shit. These statistics would not be so imbalanced because we would both be working with each other and living with each other and coexisting. But this is not coexisting. 74% of the people running something is not coexistence. That is not coexistence. 74% of motherfuckers running the NBA. That's not coexistence. 74% of motherfuckers run the entertainment world. That's not coexistence. 74% of motherfuckers running football and any other thing that we got something to do with. That's not coexistence. That's fucking pimping. That's what the fuck that is. That's pimping. You pimping the motherfucker right there. You pimping it. Pimping it. I can't call it slavery because at least, I mean, some of these motherfuckers getting paid, but it's damn sure a form of it. It's just, I don't want to call it flat out slavery because slavery, you ain't getting paid, you ain't getting shit. But these motherfuckers are getting crumbs while the rest of us don't get nothing. And then all of us, including them, they suffer too. All these rich basketball players, NFL, entertainment, because really that's all, that's only where we're getting money, right? That's all. I can't say, look, all you rich executives and suit wearing black people. I can't say that because the only rich people that are here are fucking entertainers. They make you either laugh or you cheer for them and you tell them to run faster or jump, or you tell them they got a pretty voice or some stupid shit. That's it. We don't have this overwhelming statistics of fucking doctors and lawyers and we don't because you know why? It's because 74% of it, white men are sitting there. And then the other little piece, their women are sitting there. And then the other, then the one or two goddamn Michael Jordans they'll throw in the mix. The Robert Smiths, they'll throw in the mix so they don't look as bad. So when we see some black people, they'll think we all right. We all right. And then for all the other white people who actually, who don't want this bullshit, they'll think we're all right. Because believe it or not, there's a huge percentage of white people who don't want to put up with this shit and who feel the same way I do. It's just that obviously y'all motherfuckers are outnumbered. And y'all have not been winning. Y'all motherfuckers have been catching L's ever since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't have got this bad. We wouldn't get to a place where fucking Donald Trump is president. If there were that many good ones of y'all, we would not be in this place where Donald Trump is president. Because, that's just pure evidence of who's running shit around here. And it's these motherfuckers right here. That's who's running shit. That's who's running shit. 74%, it tells you right there. It tells you right there. It tell you right there. Should tell you right there. Now, turning to those who are not white, the group with the next highest representation on Fortune 500 boards was African Americans at 6.8, with African American men at 5.3 and African American women at 1.5. Shitty numbers to me. Next highest representation, that sounds pretty. That's just telling you what it is. The 2010 U.S. Census showed that African Americans made up 13.6% of the population, so both men and women were underrepresented. Men 0.82 and women 0.21. Notably, although African American women are much more likely than African men to earn college degrees and earn master's degrees, including MBAs, African American men in 2011 were much more likely to be corporate directors than African women. The ratio of African American men, women are 3.5 to 1. So African American women are more likely to get a degree, but then they're being hired at this rate, right? While now we're more likely to get director position, but we're being hired by this rate right here, this rate, right? Compared to the goddamn 74 point, like get the fuck out of here, bro. Like y'all motherfuckers, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what after I started doing my goddamn research and about a bunch of about this stuff, I get frustrated when people talk to me and they go, well, why y'all mad? Why y'all this? Like, I guess if everyone looks like, I guess when everyone looks like you who's in power, I guess that's what I'm saying. You're not gonna see it, right? Everybody look like you around here and I go, man, this shit's uneven. But everybody look like you're not gonna see it. But y'all don't empathize enough to go, well, let me look at these numbers and let me put myself in them fucking shoes. But then, like I said, most of y'all, if y'all don't even know these numbers, and the ones that do, y'all ignore them and y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all look at it and say worse. is what it is. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck y'all think. I just know it ain't the right shit because these numbers tell me otherwise. And when I go outside, y'all, it tells me otherwise. So you can definitely say one thing, but your intention is quite clear. And your intention is that you guys, white males that is, y'all want to maintain the 74.4% in the corporate world. Y'all want to maintain that 74% in the NBA. Y'all want to maintain that in the House, the Congress, the Senate. Y'all want to make sure that in any level of decision making in regards to politics, government, society, y'all are the majority. And I mean, it's worked out so far for y'all. Like I said, motherfuckers like me, we see the shit. And, you know, and of course, the ones that ignore it, they see it too. But now this is for this is for y'all who don't know. This is for y'all who don't know. And I'm not gonna come down on y'all just because you don't know. I can't blame y'all for not knowing. I can't blame you for not knowing. What I can't blame you on is for ignoring after seeing this shit right here. Now, that's what I can hold you accountable for. Now, the Latinos made up 16.3% of the U.S. population in 2010, but only 3.1% of corporate directors were Latinos. Clearly, Latinos were also underrepresented by a factor of 0.19 with men and 0.31 with women. Same shit. Same shit. Oh. So, let's look at this one here. Asian people, y'all can, y'all do your thing. Y'all motherfuckers are doing just fine. Okay, so Fortune 500 directors by race, ethnicity, and gender. So these are the numbers, folks. These are the numbers. For white folks, 74.6. Percentage of directors, 87. Percentage of male directors, 74. Women trickling behind them. Male to female ratio, 5.6 to 1. Motherfuckers on top, way on top. They standing on them. That's how fucking on top they are. African Americans, 10.6. Percentage of directors, 6.8. Percentage of male directors, 5.3%. Percentage of female directors, 1.5. Male to female ratio is 5 to 1. Latinos, 16%. 3.1% for directors, 2.4% for male directors, 0.4% for female directors, 5 to 1 male to female. So y'all see the numbers. And I'm pretty sure these look familiar, right? Because any of y'all have seen some of my shit. I got a video called Systematic Racism and the ins and outs of it. And I show y'all. And like I said, this doesn't look unfamiliar to me. This looks very familiar. These remind me of the general manager and basketball ownership numbers, right? These show me exact same statistics on how many more white men run NBA, even though there's so many more black people playing in it and generating all the fucking money. These are the same type of statistics. They are the ones that run the 74% of them, not even 74, they're bigger. Goddamn, 90% of them own the companies, 90% of them own the stadiums, 90% of them own the fucking ESPNs, TNTs, anything, the Foxes, anything that has anything to do with a black man throwing the ball, running, tackling. He don't own shit of it. He just has to run, tackle, and do what the fuck he's told or he's paid for. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So then, and then you wonder why we don't have the majority of us on welfare when in anything we do, we're never the boss. Not even the boss. We could be the boss, but we don't own it. And that is the key to creating and generating sources of income for a group of people, a race of people, is that people own shit so they can hire other people that look like them too and share the wealth. That's the point. But see, like I said, but how the fuck are other black people gonna hire other black people? Only 13% of us are in there. But then look, who's gonna hire a shitload of white people? The 74%, the other shitload of white people who own shit. Who's gonna hire the little bit of black people? Little bit of black people who own shit. Who's gonna hire the little bit of fucking Mexicans, Latinos, a little bit of Latinos who own shit? My bad. I ain't trying to call y'all Mexican. I said Latinos. Chill out. Asian Americans, same shit. Like I said, y'all motherfuckers are doing just fine. Y'all have a fucking Chinatown. Y'all have a Chinatown in every city. Y'all are doing just fucking fine. Y'all can live just off. Y'all are doing just fine. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We'll move on to the next one, right? So white men account for 72% of the corporate leadership at 16 of the Fortune 500 companies. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these companies, they don't want to divulge their statistics in regards to who and how are people getting hired over there. A lot of them keep the shit personal. But then the 16 out of the 500 submitted to it's not Forbes. Yeah, it's Forbes. So yeah, so 16 of them submitted to Forbes in regards to showing transparency in their hiring methods, the demographics of who they've hired in the past, and all that type of shit. The other motherfuckers didn't want to do that. But anyway, like I said, it's still very revealing information, right? Okay, so let me find what I was looking for. Now, here it is right here. Right here. First, the gender disparity in the leadership of the Fortune 500 companies. 20.5% of women, 79.5 women, men. And you can see majority of them are CEO too. So 73, right here, 73% of the senior executives, men and women, are white. 73% of the senior executives. Rest are 21% Asian, 3% Latino, 2% Black, and 0.62 or more races. Compared to the demographics of the overall employed workforce, Asian and white workers at these 16 companies are overrepresented in senior leadership by 15 and 10 percentage points. Respectively, Latino and Black executives are underrepresented by 9 and 13 percentage points. So when we want to talk about the other side of the spectrum in regards to corporate world, right, business, you see the inconsistencies, right? You see it, right? Okay, so make sure motherfuckers are still with me. People who represent 2 or more races are 3 times as common in overall workforce as they are in senior executive roles. I mean, not that I don't care about Native Americans, but like I said, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to have a Native American talking for y'all. Y'all need to get it together. Because I got my people to save. I'm not trying to, I got a lot of work to do. So, I mean, I feel for y'all Native Americans, but you know, y'all need to just get with your peoples, man. Get with your peoples. Get with your chiefs, man. Y'all need to get with your chiefs. Get with your chiefs, man. Because it's fucked up how they're doing y'all too, man. Like I've seen y'all's reservations, your neighborhoods and shit. One of my buddies, his wife is full blood, right? I know how y'all live, and I know if you have nothing to do with the casinos, which majority of y'all have nothing to do with the casinos, you ain't getting shit. Y'all motherfuckers ain't getting shit. Y'all, some of y'all spots, man, it's fucked up. It really is. It really is. Like I've seen some really fucked up reservation looking type of spots, man. And it's like it's just really sad. It really is. Okay, so the racial and ethnic representation in Fortune 500 companies. So you see the overrepresented white and Asians and the underrepresented Hispanic, Black, Native Americans, Hawaiian. So when people talk to me about this stuff, they have to understand that if you guys don't look up these numbers and then you don't have any people that look like me and who tell you what's going on in their lives, right? Or you just have that one black friend who does have that good job, so you assume everybody's like him or her. like I said, man, like y'all gotta pop your head out the bubble and really try to find out and look at the world what it really is. And it's not as pretty as you think. It's not as pretty as you think at all. Okay, so right now, as of the release of the 2017 list, there are currently 4 black CEOs among the cohort: Roger Ferguson Jr., another TIAA CEO, Kenneth Frazier of Merck, Chenault at American Express, and JCPenney's CEO Marvin Ellison. Well, we talked about all those fucking numbers. They said what? There's 4. Like I don't give a fuck. I should, I'm not impressed. Like I don't know. I hope they don't think I'm supposed to be impressed, or anyone should be impressed. And to be honest, I don't think they even give a fuck. They really don't. That's why they only got 4 of us in there. They don't give a shit. January, Xerox Ursula Burns, who became the first black woman CEO on the list in 2009, stepped down from her post. That meant there were no more black women among the Fortune 500 CEOs. And that was still true when the new list was released yesterday. No black women. 2017. No black women. There are just 2 women of color on the list. Geisha Williams, the Latino who runs PG&E, and Indra Nooyi, the Indian American. She would be counted in the Asian category, whatever. So, yeah, so they cut the sister. They cut the queen out real quick. You know? So, one of those problems Rago may have been referring to when he talked about corporate diversity in 2006 is the way tokenism manifests for high-ranking people from marginalized communities. Omarosa. They wind up bearing the implicit responsibility to make sure other employees who look like them achieve a similar level of success. That said, Kara Banks leaves too many people on the bench when it's time to increase corporate diversity and attention. Now, she is an associate professor. She says some pretty good stuff. She's an associate professor at St. Louis University and a co-founder of The Mouse and the Elephant, a consulting firm that helps corporations execute on diversity initiatives. They tell the story behind their name based on the 2000 book Laura Liswood. When Banks looked at the above diversity data for senior executive at 16 Fortune 500 companies, she was careful to point out that it need not to be a depressing reminder that women and people of color and other marginalized groups that aren't counted on at the EEO-1 report struggle to make it to the upper echelons of corporate America. Rather, she said, we should delight in the number of potential allies who work for these titans of industry. I think the burden is on the predominantly white men in these positions to be intentional in speaking out about the pipeline and mentoring issues. It shouldn't be our goal to say, hey, look, here's another Asian woman who's in this leadership position, and that means I can make it too, she said. That perpetuates tokenization. Often at the case that the demographics of leadership are treated as death sentence for the upward mobility of minority employees. It wasn't until last August the Business Roundtable, an association of CEOs whose companies represent 50 million workers, specifically cited diversity at the top of the list of characteristics to be considered for board composition in its Principles of Corporate Governance Guide. Diverse backgrounds and experience on corporate boards, including those who represent a broad range of society, strengthen board performance and promote the creation of long-term shareholder value, the report said. It's a significant departure from previous editions of the report that it got a call out in the New York Times. So Banks agrees. She says you don't have to be a person of color or a woman or a person from another marginalized identity to be a champion for diversity. She is absolutely right. She's absolutely right. She said you don't have to be a person of color or a woman or a person from another marginalized identity to be a champion of diversity. You see, that's the shit that majority of white America don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Non-black, specifically white America. That's what y'all don't understand is that if you don't agree with these inconsistent numbers that I've been talking about, doesn't mean you sit back just because it's not affecting you and because you are safe, because the ones that are infringing this systematic, institutionalized racism and oppression, they look like you, so you're safe. So that's my point is that I think a lot of motherfuckers understand what's going on out here. But like I said, that just because they resemble them, they know they're safe. So they shut their fucking mouths and move on with their lives. They keep living their lives. They move into their neighborhoods. When we come in there, they move out, go to another neighborhood, hate us more. Well, and then we want to come to those neighborhoods because they're safe, right? But then y'all leave because we appreciate y'all's neighborhoods. So then anytime we move in, y'all bounce, right? And then that neighborhood turns into something else, so on and so forth. And here we are. And here we are. So now let's move on to uh, uh this let's look at the other side, right? Let's look at statistics in regards to the billionaires on my side of the fence. How many people like me have not only that type of money, but those type of resources that they can actually hire, a large percentage of their people to maybe we can manipulate and improve this unemployment statistic, right? What you like to think, right? Okay, well, let's get into it. Now, of the 2,043 people who made it to the 2017 Forbes list of the world's billionaires, 10 of them are black, down from 12 a year ago. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Motherfuckers told me right there. I don't really need to read anything else. Of 2,043 people who made it to the 2017 Forbes list of the world's billionaires, only 10 of them are black, down from 12 a year ago. So shit, not only are we low as fuck, but the shit's dwindling. The number's fucking going down. It's not even going up. The shit, y'all want to think that we're getting money. Like, oh yeah, there's all more successful black people. Then why is the fucking stat going down? Tell me that if we're so fucking successful and yeah, there's a black president and y'all motherfuckers are good, and tell me why when it comes to the world's billionaires, the shit dropped. Shit dropped. 10 of us. Only 10 out of 2,043. And you know what the crazy part is? Out of those 2,043, not only majority of those 2,043 white people, but majority of those 2,043, they made their money off that right there. Them black folk. That's how they generated becoming fucking billionaires. That's how they generated becoming billionaires. It's because this is who they pimp and throw on the field. They throw LeBron a basketball, and then they end up here. And then LeBron ain't even here. Look all the money he made for the motherfuckers. And he's not even here. He's not even here. Y'all seen these breadcrumbs? So tell me, let's ask ourselves, why are there so many black people on government assistance? No? Why are there 2,043 people who are billionaires? John, I'm sure we all know that majority of that 2,043 are white people, white men specifically. I'll tell you that right now, they're white fucking men specifically. While only 10 of us have that many billion. I mean, only 10 of us are billionaires. So tell me, what type of hiring, what type of statistical improvement can you make when these numbers are so drastically different? Just like all these other numbers that I've been pointing out that are so drastically different. Tell me, how the fuck are you supposed to get a job when only 10 of us are doing it big enough to make those type of decisions, as opposed to 2,000. I'm not even talking about the 43, the 2,000. Hmm? How you sling your weight around 2,000 motherfuckers who got more money than you and who don't want you there too? Nigerian cement tycoon Aliko Dangote, still the richest black person in the world with a fortune of estimated $12.2 billion. He is followed by the Saudi Ethiopian construction magnate Mohammed Alamude, who is worth 8.4 billion. All right, let's talk about Aliko just real quick. You see these motherfuckers right here? These are those tokens that we were talking about. These are the tokens that we were talking about. So they got to put someone in place so they can. You see, where do you think he's selling the cement to? Who do you think he's selling it to? You see, Uncle Tommy here, or Uncle Tommy, he sells his cement to these motherfuckers, these 2,000, right? So if Uncle Tommy does that, that's what Uncle Tommy gets. Send some of them coins. But only you, Uncle Tommy, can get all your family in there. We can get all your neighborhood in there. Because if we think about Nigeria, we know the condition of Nigeria. We know how much money's there. We know the condition. We know the condition, goddamn. We know the condition. This motherfucker right here, token. This dude right here, Muhammad Al-Mahudi, token. These are all tokens. These dudes are just, they were the lucky ones who got the deal. And we'll give it to you. For whatever reason, obviously, there was definitely supportive reasons, but my fact is that opportunity, these are not equal and open opportunities. Oh, they're not. You know why? There's only fucking 10 of them. Only 10 of them. That's it. So not just anybody can become a billionaire if you're black. Only 10 of you can do that. Out of all the millions, there's only 10 of us that can do that. You understand? They said this year 2 black moguls fell off the ranks. Fuck about that. Piss me off. All right, so now let's check out this BBC article real quick. This BBC article real quick. Check out this BBC article. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Y'all didn't sleep, are y'all? I'm trying to give y'all this knowledge, man. I'm trying to give y'all this knowledge. So I'm saying, put your phone in your pocket, do what the fuck you gotta do, drive, whatever. Throw me on your speaker so you can hear it. I'm reading it. But one thing's for sure, you gotta get this work. You gotta get this work. White, black, Indian, Chinese, I don't give a fuck what you are. And that's a fucked up thing too, is that even some of my own don't agree with me. So you gonna get the work too, Uncle Tommy. You gonna get the work, goddammit. So, just some quick stats real quick. Now, 2 black billionaires. These are only black billionaires in America, right here. There's only 2. Of all the rich people. Look, folks. Oprah, there's so many, you would like to assume there's a lot of black women who were just as successful as Oprah, right? Who were just as successful and just as rich as Oprah, but unfortunately, your goddamn your assumption would be wrong because Oprah is literally the richest black woman in America, and Michael Jordan is the richest black man in America. Actually, there's one more. His name was Robert Smith that I did find out today. He is part of some computer software company, but he is the 3rd black billionaire. He's from Austin, Texas. He's a 3rd black billionaire. But like I said, there's only 3. There's only 3. So again, let's ask ourselves, why are there so many black people on welfare? Well, let's look at the opposite side of the spectrum. Let's look at the richest black people. There's only 2. There's only 3 that are considered one of the richest. Only 3 out of all these motherfuckers, out of all the Will Smiths and all these Denzel, all these fucking sports people, you name it. These are the richest. That's it. That's it. How much fucking diversity is that? How much balance is that of wealth? Do you understand that Oprah, Michael Jordan can only hire so many black people? Just because There's too many of us. There's only two of them. They can't hire all of us, or half of us, or even a quarter of us. Because there's only two of them. And then you wonder why black people are in government assistance. Because when we look on the other side of the spectrum in regards to black billionaires, there are few and far between. That's why. Because there's not any black people in positions of power to hire other black people. That's why. And the ones that are, like I said, look, I'm sure some made it there on their own merit, and more power to you, brother or sister. But these stats don't lie. These numbers don't lie. And unfortunately, though, that good sister or brother who worked hard, tirelessly to get to a corporate position that they've sacrificed their whole lives for, you might have earned it, bro. You might have earned it, and more power to you. But like I said, unfortunately, majority of us, not only are they not getting those chances, but even if they did, even goddamn Oprah and Jordan ain't getting past them. So what makes you think you can? Even Jordan and Oprah ain't getting. Jordan can't even own his own team. Can't. You don't think Jordan can put enough money? All these years he couldn't put enough money to own a team. It's because he can't. Not that he doesn't want to. It's because he can't. And then for all you idiots out there to assume that just because there isn't one, no basketball player who retired said, "Man, I'd love to own a fucking team. Man, I'd love to own a team." You trying to tell me none of these motherfuckers wanted to own a team? Or own a stadium, or own an ESPN, or own a broadcasting, commentating, whatever the fuck. You don't think none of them wanted to do that? See, this is the thing, though. Let's say that happened. Let's say Jordan and somebody, they try to put together their own league, like Ice Cube did. Look at Ice Cube numbers. He's competing with fucking NBA, right? And the only reason why Ice Cube, the 3-on-3 thing is even working for him is because he's paying these ex-ballers who still love to pay. They love to play, and they still love to get paid, right? He's grabbing them, which is dope. But like I said, what would be really dope is if LeBron went over there. Is if all the motherfuckers who are making all these white people rich and not letting them get these positions of ownership go with Cube and them, and y'all create our own shit. They would come. They would come. But no, y'all are scared to do that because y'all want the $100 million. Y'all want the Gatorade shits. Y'all want to be in the fucking movies. Y'all want to be on the Showtimes. Y'all want to be in the commercials. Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. Money's money. It makes life a lot easier. I get it. It's easier to shut up when you get paid. When somebody give you a check, you can ignore shit hell of a lot easier. I understand. I get that. But just know what you're giving up. I'm not saying I've never done that before. But my point is that when it comes to this, man, there is no mincing words. There's no half stepping. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I'm saying only 9.8% over 25-year-olds have a degree. Only 9.8% of African Americans that are over 25 years old have. Just over 30% of over 25-year-olds have diplomas. Just over 30%, which is not even a really good statistic, man. Compared with 27% of whites, but fewer than 10% of black over 25s complete a bachelor's degree, compared with 14.4% of whites. Look at this statistic, which I fully agree with too. 75% of white Americans have only white friends. Man, that's the goddamn truth. Shit, it's probably 80, 85. It really surprised the shit out of me too. Even how many white friends that I know, that when I said, goddamn, I am that one black friend of yours. That shit blew my mind. That shit blew my mind when I sat there and thought about it. I was like, some of these guys, guys and girls, I've known for years. And I never thought about the fact when they're not around me, do they see anybody else that looks like me? Do they hang out with anybody else that looks like me? Are they around someone else that looks, that people that look like me? And A lot of them. I am that one fucking black friend. I am that one black friend. And I didn't even know. I did not even know it. Because I just assumed that they socialize with everybody else like I do, anybody else does. But that's not the case. And I feel like that's why a lot of times, even when I get in these discussions with my white friends, at least not with my wife, I don't want to paint a broad stroke when I say that. The white friends that don't get it, I have discussions in regards to politics, society, ideology, all these society, problems in society and all this shit. Not only do not only does what I say fall on deaf ears, not only my concerns, my frustrations that I vent to them fall on deaf ears, but the way they always respond, like I said, it's such a it was always such a disconnected and kind of unemotional, non-empathetic way, right? It was always very cold and distant because well, not because, but it was always distant. It was always very cold, and I never understood why. Right? I was always like, damn, how can people just be so just nonchalant, disregard someone else's life, right, and what they go through in it. But then I started realizing it's because they don't know or they don't put themselves around other people who are in that life, right, or who do live like that. They don't see it. So if you don't see something, not only do you not care, but you don't feel for it, right? Especially the farther you are away from it, not only do you disregard it, but the more you are desensitized from what that is and then ramification and results of it, right? Sometimes you'll see you driving down the street, you'll see an ambulance, and unfortunately, that's about to go pick someone up that's maybe dying, already dead, right? But then how many of us are we on the phone to listen to music, we see an ambulance, we don't even think about that anymore. We just stop, let it go out of our way, and we're still laughing on and doing whatever fuck else we're doing, right? Why? Is because it's got nothing to do with you. So you don't give a shit. I'm not saying everybody. Some people literally will pray, will send out, energy to that ambulance going wherever the ambulance is going. I hope, you know what I'm saying. Some people are like that, believe it or not. But majority of folks, it's just in your way. The ambulance is in your way. The fire truck is in your way, right? Because you're not thinking that thing that's actually about to go and save somebody. That's the last thing you're thinking. You're just thinking, I'm just trying to get to the 7-Eleven so I'm going to get my Slurpee. Or you're on your phone laughing, talking, whatever, talking shit and bullshitting. So my point is that disconnection is because of this statistic right here. Is that majority of white Americans, they only socialize with white Americans. Majority of them only socialize with only white Americans. They obviously, like I said, there is a 25% don't, but majority, they only socialize with their own. And it's easy to do that when you have neighborhoods, right? When you have cities and towns and there's nothing but y'all in there, right? Easy to do that when majority of town, like right now, I'm in Edmond. Majority of spots in Edmond are, there's white people everywhere, right? So if I go to the north side of Oklahoma City, there's a small pocket over there by Rain Dance and by Mecklenburg, black people. But then, like I said, if you go anywhere else around there, a bunch more little small concentrations of white suburban neighborhoods, right? So my point is that there's a bubble that's almost formed there because you don't go into any places that don't resemble yours. And it's easy to do that when there's not a whole bunch of East Side, that are out there, right? The only ones that are out there is just where the black folk live, and those are always tucked away, tucked up. Where the Mexicans live, they're tucked on the South Side. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, it's just that there's a lot more, unfortunately, white Americans are in this bubble that they don't understand black people because they don't deal with them. They don't socialize with them. They don't, and just saying hi and talking to one don't mean shit, man. It's like if you understand how people live, like I said, we would not be in these situations. I don't think we would. If 75% more white Americans didn't have just only white friends, I'd like to assume they would be hiring other people that didn't look like them because these 75%, they hire people. These motherfuckers are people's bosses too. So if 75%, so we know already that 74% of the corporate world is run by white America, white men. And then we also know that the women are right behind them, right? And then we also know when it comes to directors in the corporate world, it's majority white men, right? We know these things. And then we know that majority of billionaires are white men. So then why is it not safe to say that this 75% of white people who don't deal with black people will not hire fucking black people? They won't. Why? Because they don't deal with us. They don't fuck with us. They only fuck with their people. So they gonna, well, guess who they gonna hire? Their own fucking people. That's what they gonna do. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, I can go back to the stats. Go back to the stats of how many white CEO in the Fortune 500. I can go back to the stats of how many directors are in these corporate businesses and these corporate companies. I can go back and show you them stats. Real easy. Real easy. 10.9 unemployment. So if this is going on, this is going to come right after, because these people are only hiring themselves while we sit in the line like this. You know why? It's because there isn't no 75%. If there was a 75% of us who just only dealt with ourselves, it might be like this. 37% male prison inmates are black. Even though there's less of us in population, there's more of us in jail. That should just tell you everything. So there's another imbalance of statistic. More white people, but there's still less of them in jail, right? So figures based on the prison population at the end of December 2013 show black Americans made up a disproportionate number of inmates. Some 32% were white and 22% are Hispanic. So y'all seen these breadcrumbs? I had to come with it. And then another thing too, what I wanted to touch on is I wanted to talk about these big corporate companies that have been running shit, right? I want to show you these guys, the Round Table, the Foreign Relations. I want us. The reason why is just because I want us to kind of break down who they are, and I want us to break down. I feel like if we break down who they are, it's going to tell us their intent. You see what I'm saying? So I want us to look at the Business Roundtable. I want to show y'all who they are, and so you can understand why we're not in the corporate world. You can understand why the unemployment rate and we're on government assistance, because we don't have any opportunity when it comes to the corporate world, because majority of it is run by white American men who don't want us there. And the ones they do want there, well, I just showed them to y'all that there's literally 3 black billionaires. One of them is Robert Smith, who is part of the software business. He's in the software field. He constructs computer software of some kind of software. I read the article, but I just don't remember. Robert Smith. He's from Austin, Texas. He is a billionaire, and he deals with computer software. Oprah, then goddamn Michael Jordan, whack ass Michael Jordan, punk ass Michael Jordan. Fuck Jordan. Never liked Jordan. I used to love Jordan, but I fucking hate him. I'm gonna do a video on Jordan. Anyway, the Business Roundtable. These are some of the 4 major key policy groups that exist, right? And like it says right here, they're intertwined in the corporate network. So these guys, they got a lot of weight. They push a lot of weight, move a lot of weight, or big weight. So I wanted to break down who they were. You know what I'm saying? Now, who's first? The Round Table. So the Round Table is a politically conservative group of chief executive officers. It's a politically conservative group of chief executive officers of major U.S. corporations formed to promote pro-business public policy. Okay, the roundtable was founded in 1972 by John Harper, the head of Alcoa, and Fred J. Borch, CEO of General Electric, who were concerned about the growing public hostility toward corporations. Because these motherfuckers they've been digging in. They've been digging in, right? As evidenced by support for government regulation of the workplace environment and about the power of unions to squeeze corporate profits in an increasingly competitive international market. The two CEOs talked with John Connally, President Nixon's Secretary of the Treasury, and Arthur Burns, the Chairman of the Federal Reserve. So these are government officials, right? These CEOs want to talk to these politicians, government officials. The Federal Reserve guy, he's not anything government federal. Federal Reserve is ain't federal at all. Ain't shit federal about them at all. Who advised them to set up a lobbying organization that would specifically represent? Oh my God! Here's the kicker, folks. Here it is. Here it is. So John Harper and Fred Borch went and sat down with John Connally, Arthur Burns, and John Connally was President Nixon's Secretary of Treasury, so he's all in the mix in the fucking politics. And then Arthur Burns is the chairman of the fucking Federal Reserve, so that's who's holding the quote unquote gold, right? The gold that ain't there no more. Who advised him to set up a lobbying organization that would specifically represent large banks and corporations. Harper was the first president, followed by Thomas Murphy of General Motors. So, y'all see what I'm saying here? So this group set up a lobbying organization. So y'all know what lobbyists do, right? They fundraise and they support politicians to push their political agendas, right? To help them financially. End of the day, that's what a fucking lobbying organization is for. Specifically with these motherfuckers, what they do is they fund and sponsor politicians to help them pass laws that garner them more fucking money. That's what a lobbying organization is. Right? So then now, if we want to look at the way things are, understand that there is a lobbying organization who not only know all these numbers that I done showed you, but don't care to change them. The reason why is because that's how they want the fucking numbers. They only want 3 of us to have billions of dollars. That's why only 3 of us have billions of dollars. They only want 2 of them to be American. That's why, 3 of them to be American. Because there's 18 black billionaires in the whole world. There were 12 last year. Now there's only 10. Okay? 2017, there's only 10. That's because that's how they want it. So if you ask me why are black people in government assistance, it's because that's how they want it. Because they don't want us to be corporate CEOs and directors. So how the fuck would they want us to work at the bottom? If you don't want us at the top, why the fuck would you want us at the bottom? They don't want us anywhere. That's why the unemployment rate is high. And that's why the jails are high. Because they don't want us anywhere around that shit. They want us in jails, dead, or not working. That's it. And these statistics, they confirm that they are achieving their mission every fucking year. They confirm that they are. It said 12 to 10 billion. It said 12 to 10 billionaires. It said, look, out of 2,043 people who made it to the 2017 Forbes list of world billionaires, 10 of them are black, down from 12. You understand that to them, that's a plus. That's a goddamn, that's up for them. They're like, hell, we knocked 2 of them out. Boom, got them out the way. Boom, that's great. Good job, fellas. Let's get that 10 to 8 next year. Because that's 2 less people to hire other black folk. That's 2 less people to generate corporate connections with other black, corporate leaders of tomorrow. That's 2 less to give an opportunity to a young African American or woman or man to be in a job where statistically they would never be there. That's too less to do that. Like I said, that's a win to people like this, like the round table. That's a win for them. That's a win for them. That's a win for them. It's a win. They got lobbying organizations to make sure it stays that way because you know who they've been talking. You know, look who they linked up with when they thought about this great idea. They say John Connolly. Look, you President Nixon, Secretary of Treasury, bro. We need to figure out a way to ensure that our pharmaceutical companies, our fucking car companies, all the shit that we use to make money off these motherfuckers, we need to make sure that we got at least one or two politicians in our back pocket, man. Oh, right on. Well, shit. Arthur Burns from the Federal Reserve said, you know what? This is what I think y'all should do. You need to set up a lobbying organization that would specifically represent our banks and our corporations. So when we talk to these fucking presidents and soon-to-be presidents, we'll just pay them, and then they will finish off what we need done. That's exactly what the fuck happened. That's what's been going on present day. And now we only got 10 billionaire black people. We've got 74% of white men running shit. And while we're sitting at, 6.8% of us in the corporate world? So, and then y'all want to know, right? Y'all want to know why we're a lot of black people in government system. Because this is what you see right here. This is why. This is why right here. There's Rex Tillerman. This is why. You see all these faces? You see what color all them folks are? You see what color all them folks are? Who we got here? I don't know what he is, but he's just a speaker. That's all he is. He don't work there. Just a speaker. You see what color these folks are? Are these guys hiring any black folk? Are they hiring? Is he hiring any black folk? Oh, so he might be able to hire some. This black dude right here behind him, he might be able to hire some black folk. But how many he gonna hire when look, he got a white dude behind him? My point is that we're always outnumbered. As if it's not like there's a small percentage of us. Nah, it's just y'all motherfuckers want to hold on to the fucking power, and y'all want to act like not only are we're not we're not certified enough, we're not intelligent enough, but y'all damn sure don't want to give any of the reins. Y'all don't want to share. Y'all don't want to compete. Y'all don't want to do none of that shit. That's my thing too. I'm not even saying y'all give anything. Y'all don't even want to compete. Y'all are scared to compete. They're scared to compete with the Michael Jordans and all them. So they would rather create these systems of systematic fucking separation, right? They would rather keep it in the family instead of actually getting out there and compete. Y'all scared fucking shitless. That's why these old men die in these spots because they don't want nobody else to get these spots. Because y'all scared we're gonna come through and fuck around and do exactly what we do with anything else. Y'all know what we do. We just do it good. Whatever it is, we just fucking do it nice. You can put us anywhere on God's green earth, and we're gonna do it nice. Even if we're gonna be slaves, we're gonna be the nicest, we're gonna be the coldest fucking slaves, motherfucker. Anything we touch, we do it nice. That's why we can't die. That's why we're still here. That's why we're time. That's why all this shit we done been through. You know what I'm saying? They got all these movies and shit about the Holocaust, right? Yes, a lot of people died over there. What, about 6 million, 7 million? That 6 million, that should happen in about a year or 2 years in places like Liberia, Uganda, Ghana, Mali, Nigeria. That ain't nothing. Can you imagine how many died in the first 10 years of the slave trade? 5 years of the slave trade. Can you imagine how many black people died? I bet you money is more than fucking 6 million. I bet you money is more than 6 million. So that's what y'all do when Jewish people die, when 6 million Jewish people die, but when millions of us continue dying and still, and they're not even just dying, are getting murdered, raped, killed, thrown in jails, thrown to fucking rot. That's not a Holocaust, right? What happened to the whole fucking continent of Africa is not a Holocaust, right? While every piece of Africa literally has been colonized by outsiders, specifically white men, and that's not a Holocaust, right? Could you imagine how many, as big as Africa is, as many of us are, could you imagine how much killing them motherfuckers was doing back then when they didn't have stats, when they wasn't writing down how many bodies are dead, when they wasn't counting how many slaves that they were throwing in the ship, vice versa, or drowning, or feeding to the alligators, or using as target practice, or raping. Them numbers, not only will we never know, there are too many to fucking count. Countless. There's too many. There's too many. But then 6 million Jews, 6 million so-called Jews die. Oh my God, y'all want to give them a piece of land, and y'all want to talk about them, make movies for them, and fucking call them God's chosen people. While the real God's chosen people are still going through it. And 6 million is a fucking drop in the bucket how many people we've lost. 6 million is a drop in the fucking bucket compared to how many people we have lost. So when I see Rex Tillerson in the Business Council, and then you motherfuckers want to ask me why are so many black people dependent on government assistance and welfare and this and that, and then we go to these policy groups, right? That fucking control, that are the backbones of the corporate world. And look what you see. You see the 74.4% that run shit. Look how old this man is. That old man is. You think that old man was kicking over black folks when he was growing up? You think he is now? Hell the fuck no. You think he teaching that to his son? Hey son, I never fuck with black folk, but you need to. That motherfucker ain't fucking with black folk. More than likely, he telling his son not to do the same goddamn thing too. He ain't got to tell him. He already know it. He probably already know. He probably don't have to tell him shit. So you have to understand that when you look at this, if you are a white person, when you look at this, this looks normal to you because these people look like you. So when people ask me why are so many black people unemployed, it's because when I look at this, I don't see me. I only see, look, I see that there was one of me, just one. Look how many of y'all. We'll keep watching. Look how many of y'all. These are all these people look like you. So you don't feel any weird, right? Look how many of y'all. That speaker mother, he probably feels weird just being the only one there. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at this, and they even, like I said, they show off Rex Tillerson. When you look at this, don't wonder why. Don't wonder why the black people can't get jobs, and then they have to resort to government assistance. Don't wonder, fuck why. It's right here, and if you didn't know this, you ignoring it because you know this shit's going on. You know shit ain't fair. You know shit ain't even. And if you really think this shit ain't going on or you still disagree with me, like I said, you are just as fucking ignorant as these assholes who are just as ignorant as these motherfuckers who actually do this shit. Just as ignorant. Brookings Institution. Brookings Institution celebrated its 100th year as a leader in the policy research at the local, national, and global levels. The Brookings Institution traces its beginnings in 1916. 1960, that's when white people love black people, right? When a group of leading reformers found the Institution of Government Research, the first private organization devoted to analyzing public policy issues at the national level. I'm not going to keep reading through all this bullshit, but like I said, it's just showing you 1916, these motherfuckers, I mean, it tells you what the fuck already, what time it was. And I'll elaborate, fast forward to 2017, 2018, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren. She had put out a letter in regards to the Brookings Institution, and this article is about it. So Brookings fellow cuts ties. Brookings fellow cuts ties after Warren letter, right? Now, a longtime fellow at the Brookings Institution abruptly a longtime fellow at the Brookings Institution, abruptly cut ties with the prestigious think tank Tuesday, hours after the Senator Elizabeth Warren sent a letter to the institution complaining about an industry funded study he co wrote. I think that Warren's letter has created discomfort at Brookings. Robert Robert Litton said by phone, "I don't want to make people there feel any uncomfortable." So Litton said he believes Warren's complaints were largely unfounded, noting that he disclosed funding source for his study during senator testimony he gave on it over the summer. He also said that Warren didn't attack the substance of his arguments, only the perceived conflict. So I'm not going to go too deep, but at the end of the day, they gave some somewhat biased information. And now, okay, I'll just fucking. The development was the latest win for Warren in Washington, where she has sought to highlight areas where the financial services industries seek to influence government. You see, that's where the problem is. You see, just like I explained to y'all just a minute ago, is that these motherfuckers, they pay these politicians to do the dirty work. And so you have to understand that if somebody wants to go get a job, it's not as easy as just walking in there and filling out an application. It's not. You know what I'm saying? There is basically a quota that a corporate company, corporate entity has to reach. And after they reach that, they don't have to hire any goddamn anything. Right? So if they got their 2.5 goddamn 2 black people in a midget, that's it. They don't need to hire anymore. Why? It's because they've reached their quota, their cap on diversity. So that's all we need. We don't need anymore. So my point is that for them to legally do that, they create these lobbying organizations which sponsor and fund whatever political protege or even seasoned, political figure to pass laws that help them in regards to these procedures that garner them more fucking money. Understand? So, a non resident senior fellow at Brookings who had been affiliated with the Institute for roughly 4 decades used an industry funded study he conducted as the basis for Senate testimony, criticized a proposed Department of Labor rule intended to protect investors seeking advice on retirement funds. Now, Warren took issue with the two aspects of the study. Litton was paid roughly $40,000 to do it by the Capital Group. So literally, the motherfuckers who needed the shit done paid these dumb motherfuckers to say, hey, y'all get this done with me and say, word is law, word is bond, it is what it is. That's the shit I'm talking about. So it was biased statistical information for a capital group that it was information that benefited them when in all actuality it wasn't true information. It was altered information for them motherfuckers to get what they needed. This is the shit. This is the shit that we deal with. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, so you have to understand that these folks, there's 2,043 of them that are fucking billionaires that do this shit. You have to understand. I just showed y'all a second ago that the motherfuckers who started this shit, or not this one specifically, but the round table, which is basically the same concept. They're think tanks, lobbying organizations, so on and so forth. But the Business Roundtable, that shit was started by one was the Department of Treasury, the leader of the Department of Treasury for Nixon. So he was all in the goddamn White House. The other dude was the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So y'all have to understand the players in this game here. And these motherfuckers will make sure that who they don't want to get a job, they won't get the goddamn jobs. Who they want to be bosses and be 74% strong, they will be 74% strong. Who they want to be 6.8% strong in that field, they will be 6.8% strong. You know why? It's because majority of them have more money than the fucking 3 billionaires that we know of here in America that are black, and then the 10 worldwide. So don't ask me why we don't have opportunities to get good corporate jobs to where we can go into our communities, hire our own, raise the appreciation of our neighborhoods so other businesses can come and invest. Right? The ones that, the 10 black billionaires that have corporate people, just because they got $1 billion don't mean they can hire 1 billion people, let alone a fucking million people. You know? They can't even hire 10,000 people. They can't. They can't even hire 10,000 people. So understand how detrimental that is. So every majority of black people, we're literally hoping that some white person or white corporate company or white something gives us a job, as opposed to being confident that we can find our job within our own communities and cultures and industry. We can't do that because we don't have any any kind of leadership. We don't have, not leadership, but we don't have any type of money, and we don't have any black people that are in those positions of hiring and putting and set forth this type of conglomerate or corporation, what have you. Oprah can't hire every goddamn black person. Michael Jordan barely fucks with black people. Robert Smith, I don't know. I don't know him too well. So you have to understand, and I hope you've seen these breadcrumbs, you have to understand that now today, you wonder why a black man can't get no, it's hard for a black man to get a job, let alone be the CEO of AT&T. Because you understand now that 74.4% is run by white males. That's it. And we're at 6.8, while women are 13.3. White women, that is. Black women are 2.1. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this last article. Last one. When it comes to government safety nets, this is a Washington Post article right here. Man, the biggest beneficiaries of the government safety net is the working class white folk. According to Washington Post, I'm gonna read it again. According to the Washington Post, not according to motherfucking Peasy, not according to the black guy, motherfuckers. According to Washington Post, biggest beneficiaries of the government safety net are working class whites. Let's get it in. Working class whites are the biggest beneficiaries of federal poverty reduction programs, even though blacks and Hispanics have substantially higher rates of poverty, according to the new study to be released Thursday by the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Government assistance and tax credits lifted 6.2 million working class whites out of poverty in 2014, more than any other racial or ethnic demographic. Half of all working age adults without college degrees lifted out of poverty by safety net programs are white. Okay, so I'm gonna run that back. Government assistance and tax credit lifted 6.2 million working class whites out of poverty in 2014, more than any other racial or ethnic demographic. Half of all working age adults without college degrees lifted out of poverty by safety nets programs are white. Nearly a quarter are black and a fifth are Hispanic. Now, look at this right here. Whites without a college degree are the largest group of people lifted out of poverty by the government safety net. So people need to understand that these things, government system, welfare, and all this shit, they'll like to say it was created to help black folk or whatever the fuck. But like I said, it wasn't. That shit wasn't for us. Shit wasn't for us. This was to help out the the non-college educated white people who were middle class. That's what it was for. And it's doing exactly what they wanted to do. It's helping out their people because they're the ones that are making all the decisions. I just showed y'all the pattern of corporate America, right? I just showed y'all that. And I just showed y'all how intertwined it is with government. You just saw Rex Tillerman at the goddamn business, whatever the fuck, what's it called? The Business Council. You saw Rex Tillerman right there. So it's intertwined. And I showed you the ones who started um, the Business Roundtable were, one worked for Nixon, the other one was the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So it's all intertwined with the government. And so, like I said, like it's doing exactly what they want to do. They're helping out their people. They're helping their people out. Their people are getting out of poverty. 6.2 million of them. But see, how many of my people help my people up? That's what I'm saying. There's only goddamn 3 African American billionaires. So how? There's 18. I think there's 1,800 American billionaires helping out 6.2 million white people, and then there's only 3 black billionaires, African American billionaires, helping out 2.8 million black people. You see, and so you see how much of an effect that will have. We don't have the resources. Why? Is because we have been marginalized and pushed out the way because the white men want to hold on to all the resources because they want to maintain the corporate power, which also in turn confirms their political power, right? So it's like if they hog all the corporate power, then that will maintain hogging all the political power, which we see now how strong and effective that is. They got Donald Trump, the fucking weirdo reality guy, to be a president. I mean, that's how strong. That's how strong and influential these motherfuckers are with their money. They got Trump into the spot, and we know what's going on with Trump. Where it is, motherfucker just eats cheeseburgers all day. Like I bet Melania, I bet they ain't had sex probably like in a few years. I guarantee Melania does not. Can y'all even imagine Trump smashing Melania? Like that shit would. Like I bet he stinks. Number one, and then number two, I bet he's like, he says weird shit too. Oh my god, I bet it's just horrible. Poor fucking. I would say poor woman, but fuck her. I hope she fucking. I hope she's miserable. I hope every day she crying, regretting every little bit of it. And according to that book, that's what I heard. I heard she hated every fucking day of being the first lady. So pretty good for me. I like that. That's good. I hope you hate it. I hope every day hurts. Every fucking day hurts being with that man. I hope it. Yes. I hope that's how it goes for you. Sorry. But no, I'm not sorry. I hope that's how it goes. I hope that's how it goes. Well, I hope you sad as shit. I ain't got no love for you. No love, no love, no love. Anyway, so y'all see the these numbers here, right? Y'all see these numbers here. Now the result does not simply reflect the fact that there are more white people in the country. The percentage of otherwise poor whites lifted from poverty by government safety net program is higher. Okay, 44% compared to the 35% of otherwise poor minority study. All you motherfuckers trying to act like this, welfare and all this shit and government assistance is only for black people and only helps black people. Well, now you see the statistics. You see, there's more of y'all in power, so more of y'all are going to be taken care of at the end of the day. That's the point. So, like I said, for me, this doesn't seem illogical. Like, I just ran down the fact that the majority of white men are controlling not only the government, but also the corporate world. So, of course, they're going to take care of their white people when they become in poverty. That's why they created these little programs for them. And they just brought us along. But like I said, this wasn't for us. In the 60s, affirmative action, civil rights movement, that was for white women. That was for white women. You see what I'm saying? And then welfare, government assistance, that shit was just for poor white people. That was for them. And it's working. Like I said, they're doing exactly what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They're doing exactly what they want to do, which is we'll take care, even if y'all are the shit, we're gonna take care of y'all because you're one of us. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people like to assume that the trailer trash people ain't shit. Them motherfuckers, bro, they love being in them trailers. They don't give a fuck. They love sitting there drinking. They're fucking Americans, bro. They don't give a fuck. They are proud to be at that level that they're at. And so, like I said, that's when the government said, all right, fine. Then we'll just we'll keep y'all around. We'll keep y'all somewhat happy. You know what I'm saying? But then when we need y'all, y'all come out and vote and do what y'all got to do. And that's exactly what happened. So I wanted to leave y'all with this last one just to show y'all that at the end of the day, among working class minorities, blacks also benefit significantly from government programs, which is true. With 43% of otherwise poor blacks being lifted from poverty by the safety net, only 28% of otherwise poor Hispanics were lifted out of poverty. There is a perception out there that the safety net is only for minorities. While it is very important to minorities because they have a higher poverty rate and face barriers that lead to lower earnings, the barriers that I just fucking showed y'all, right? It is also quite important to whites, particularly that the white working class, said Isaac Shapiro, a senior fellow at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities and one of the report's authors. Okay? So we need to understand that. So check this out. Without the government programs, 24% of whites were poor, compared to the 43% of blacks and 36% of Hispanic. Huh. So without the government's programs, 24% were poor, compared to 43% black and 36% Hispanic. After the program, 13% of whites were poor, compared to the 24% of blacks and 26% of Hispanics. Still significant on our end. I mean, because obviously, yes, there's more of us in poverty, obviously. Here's the percent of 18 to 64-year-olds without a college degree lifted above the poverty line by public assistance in each group. Poverty rate before assistance, 24% for white, 43% for black, 36, yeah, it's kind of talked about. So yeah, man. So when it comes down to it, folks, when you ask any, when you ask yourself, when you see reports, when you drive down the street, and you see that temp office with a line full of black folks over there on 23rd. I know there's other ones, but that's what I know of. When you see these things, remember me. Remember me. Remember these numbers that I showed you. Because understand that for people to assume that we don't want these positions, nor there's none of us throughout all these fucking years that have not tried to get these positions, or there was none of us throughout all these years that were qualified to get these positions, for y'all to assume there's none of us who have tried and not qualified and not good enough. Like I said, that just says more in regards to who you are and how ignorant fuck you are. For as many basketball players who have played the game and have been successful at it, and have gotten, huge notoriety for playing the game and how they played and who they are. Even them motherfuckers can't get big money to own a team, ESPN, a fucking, a Fox, a TNT, a stadium. None of them. Why? None of us don't want stadiums. We all don't want stadiums. We just want to fucking play and then retire and then be broke after that. None of us want to own the shit. Emmitt Smith, Dion, and all the greats that came in the back 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s who made money, but obviously they weren't making that much, but who were making considerable money and were famous as shit. You're gonna tell me all these motherfuckers, they don't want to own a football team? They don't want to be football coaches? They don't want to own a sports channel? They don't want that? No. Or what? None of us were good enough to be eligible to get that? So that's what I'm saying. So throw that shit just out your mind. When you think that, when you go, well, I mean, there was a black bachelorette. Like as if that's a fucking good. It's 2017, and y'all just popping out a black bachelorette. One, like, and I'm supposed to be like when Obama made it. We were all supposed to be like, hell, one out of fucking how many? 45, 44 presidents, 43 presidents at the time. I'm supposed to be happy because Oprah and Michael Jordan and Robert Smith are billionaires? 3 out of 2,043? I'm supposed to be fucking going, oh yeah, things are changing? Even though that number actually dropped from 18 to 12 to 10 present day. These are black billionaires worldwide. I'm supposed to be going, this is cool, right? Oh yeah, we're making fucking leaps and bounds and diversity. We got a black bachelorette one. This shit is dope. And this bitch, who she go home with? Anyway, yo, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. And people, I fuck with everybody. People who know me, I fuck with everybody. So y'all have to understand that if I'm to this point, I've had it like, not only have I been, you know, at a young age, I thought everything could be. I thought things could be, but they can be fixed, but not the way I thought. And then I started realizing how many people don't even see the problems. They don't see the patterns, they don't see the numbers, they don't see the inconsistencies, the inequalities. But then I started realizing, oh, that's because they all look alike. That's why they ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? The only people that see the inequalities are the ones that look like me. All the other people, they ain't tripping because they're going, shit, motherfucker looks like one of my uncles. I'm not nervous being here, bro. I don't know about you. You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening. So when it comes to government assistance, unemployment rate, when we look at that low end spectrum of work, the opportunity to get work, then in turn you have to look at the other side of that spectrum, which is the corporate elites who control the work, the opportunities to work. Who is there that is delegating equal rights and opportunities? Who is there? Well, I showed you the numbers. 74.4 of them are white males. 13.6 of them are black. Actually, it was 3.2, 13.6 women, white women at that. There's actually more white women in the corporate world than African American men and women together. There's more white women in the corporate world than African American men and women put together. There's more white women. More white women have made more progress in the corporate ladder, climbing the corporate ladder, than both black women and men. I showed you the stats. Go back. But then you want to ask us why we don't have jobs when only there are only 3 black Americans that are billionaires. And you wonder why that black Americans don't have jobs? Only 7 in the rest of the world are black. And you wonder why the rest of black people in the world don't have jobs? Only 10 of us out of 2,043 have billions. And you wonder why we are underrepresented in the job scene. And you fucking wonder why. Or, no, you don't wonder why. Y'all just say we're fucking lazy. Right? We'd rather go pick up pistols and shit like that. That's what y'all say. Y'all don't wonder why. Y'all just go straight to calling us lazy. How the fuck am I lazy when there's 74% of y'all somewhere and there's only 3% of me? If anything, these small percentages are working harder because they are the minority, so they actually have to work harder because there's not that many of them. Y'all are the lazy ones because y'all feel like y'all have to gang up on all of these other races because of fear of losing. That's where the laziness is. That's not competition. 74% in the corporate world, while everybody else is less than 20%. That's not competition. You're not trying to compete. You want to bully your way out. You want to bully your way through. You don't want to compete. You don't want fair ground with us. You don't want that. You don't want that because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen because you can't. You need all your you need the 74% to make sure you're doing what you're doing right now, and that's keeping your foot on our necks. You know, in the corporate world, academically, spiritually, in regards to society, in every aspect of society, you have maintained that foot on our necks. Why? It's because there is 74.4% of feet on our necks. That's not just one foot. I got a bunch of feet on our necks. Yeah, it's a pack mentality. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one-on-one. A pack mentality. That's fear. That's fear. That's fear. That's being scared to compete. So we're gonna make sure that we systematically manipulate these infrastructures so we can maintain power because we don't want to lose. Why are you scared to lose it? If y'all that damn good in business and everything else y'all do, why are you scared to lose it? Why are you so scared to lose it? You should hold on to it, right? If there is 50%, I even say y'all can have the 55. I can even have 55. I'll be nice. I'll give y'all a little bit. I don't even need to. I don't even need to. Let's say y'all had 55%. Even with y'all are scared to even give us the 45%. Y'all even scared to leave 45% of business out because y'all know the fuck we're gonna do. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Because y'all didn't go out there and pick that cotton. Y'all couldn't do it. Y'all were burning in the sun. I couldn't do it. And then y'all try to get the Chinese people to do it. They were burning too. And then for the most part, Chinese people too, they were like, man, we'll go back to fucking China. Fuck y'all. The ones y'all took, they stayed, but they can't handle it. They couldn't handle the heat. They couldn't handle the heat. So y'all couldn't even, that's what I'm saying. Y'all couldn't even build this country yourselves. Y'all had to make us do it. And at the same time, even like I said, present day now, still not only give that credential or give that respect and space, still trying to use the same tactics in regards to entertainment. Every other way that we generate money for you, it's still the same master slave mentality. Y'all are the bosses while we work for y'all and make y'all a bunch of money. The same way we were, Black Americans was picking cotton in the fields. It's the same way these NFL players is running on them fields while the CEOs and the owners sit in them skyboxes and they reap all the fucking same shit to me. Same shit. Same shit. You know why? Just because when I look at the corporate world, I see the results. There is 74% of y'all doing it. There is 2,043 of y'all with billions of dollars, and there's only 3 of us in America and 10 of us all together. So that is why Black people have to lean on other organizations, predominantly not even Black organizations, to support them, is because we have been marginalized throughout the whole system and they don't want us to play. They don't want us to play. I'm not even saying let me. I'm saying, see, this is the thing. I'm not asking for none of this shit. And I like to think I'm speaking for us all. We're not asking for none of this shit. I'm just pointing the shit out because we're going to take it back. And we are taking it back. But I'm telling you right now, it's like, I'm not asking for nothing. I'm not asking for your sympathy. I'm not asking for an opportunity. I'm not asking for none of that shit. I'm not asking for diversity. I already know what y'all are. I know how y'all do things. So this is for the people who don't understand what's going on. This is for the people who don't realize what side they've been on, who haven't picked a side yet. Well, actually, they've already been on the side. They just don't realize where they're at. Because whether you know of everything I've been telling you, whether you know what's going on or not, you're on somebody's side. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, you're either on that side or on this side. It's either the side where you understand that there is a systematic oppression going on, or it's the side where you disregard it and act like all these numbers and all these articles is all fake. I mean, that's it. It's either it's real or it's fake. There ain't no middle shit. Ain't no middle shit. Either it's real or it's fake. I done pulled up Washington. If you think Washington Post is fake, okay. If you think Forbes is fake, okay. All these sites, if you think these motherfuckers, these are all white people too at that. If you think they're all not fucking, they're all fake, then you can live in that ignorant ass world of yours. One thing's for sure is, you watch this video, do not, do not assume that we don't have positions of power, let alone jobs and opportunities of jobs, because we're lazy. It's because you can see here the people who are in the game, they don't want us to play. They don't want us to play. They hogging the game. They hogging the game. And this thing called, I forgot to mention this thing called, it was called interlockers. I think they called it interlockers, corporate interlocking, when directors of corporate businesses can be heads of more than one corporate entity interlocking. So what they do is, when they do grab that one black guy or one black lady, which obviously now there, as of 2017, there is no black CEO in the corporate world. None. But the only minorities that they do have, these people become interlockers. There'll be a director on more than one, or more than one a board. Why? It's because that's what I'm saying. So they don't have to hire other fucking black people. That's why they do that. They don't. So they go, why don't you just come be a member on this other board too? So we can also look like we like black folk. So they don't have to fucking hire another one. That's why they do that shit. That's why they do that shit. And they were saying that they were trying to stop it because it promotes tokenization. But like I said, these motherfuckers, it's evident. It's sitting right here in front of us. The only reason why I'm smiling is just because I just can't believe how blatant this shit is. How blatant this shit is. And then that's why I get even so frustrated when I talk to y'all, because I'm going, y'all don't see this shit? But then I get it when I read the percentage of 75% of white people only deal with white people. 75% of white folks only deal with white people. 75% of white people only hang out with white people. 75% of white people only go to white establishments, deal with white people. And then they might listen to some black people, but black music on the way. But my point is that they don't know what we go through because they don't deal with us. They don't deal with us. And I told y'all in this during this this PowerPoint that even I live in Edmond. There's a lot of white people in Edmond, and I grew up around here, so I know a lot of white people. I know a lot of white people. Some of them, you'd be surprised how many of them I am that only black friend. I know a lot of them who do have plenty of black. I know a lot of white people who know a lot of black people. I know a lot of white people who are cool. But my point is, there's some of them who I am their only goddamn black friend. And that shit is weird to me. That shit is weird to me. That shit is weird to me. When I didn't talk to so many goddamn, not only am I friends with so many different types of people, but I talk to so many different people on a daily basis. So to me, it blows my mind when somebody that I've known, they literally have only associated with someone that looks like me the most ever in their life. Like anybody else are like, they barely, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's very telling of why America is the way it is. It's telling of why the corporate world is the way it is. It's because Rex Tillerson doesn't kick it with fucking black people. So why would you see him looking out for black folk? Donald Trump don't kick with black people. Donald Trump probably don't even have any friends, not even one. So why would you see him looking out for black people? Some of these people have never sat in a black person's house and ate their food. And like, some never. If they did, they were in and out. And it was in their neighborhood. It wasn't in our neighborhood or completely out of their surrounding and into someone else's. It's not that way. There is a percentage of people who do that, but like I said, majority, they'll kick it with a black, like when you kick it with your friend, they'll do that with a black person maybe once every few months, if that, and then it's accidental. It's not even planned. It's like, and yes, of course, some people are conscious of these things, but one day, just ask yourself, how many people of other races do I interact with on a daily basis? And then ask yourself, which one of those races I don't like? and put that shit together and see by any chances. Maybe you don't like the motherfuckers because you don't know them. Because you don't know anything about them. You don't associate with them. You don't know what they like. You don't know what they do. You don't know what makes them mad. You don't know what makes them laugh. You don't know shit. You don't know how to talk to them. You don't know shit. So then now you walking on goddamn eggshells when you get around them motherfucker. Diversify yourself, man. If there was more diversification here and here, then we wouldn't be having this discussion. We wouldn't be talking about this bullshit. I wouldn't be seeing statistics that say 74.4 is run by one fucking demographic of one type of person, while the other one is all on the way on the other goddamn side of the stat board. We wouldn't be seeing that shit if people knew that we got kids too that we gotta feed. We got wives and sisters. We got bills. We got mortgages. We want to go on vacations. We want 401ks. If motherfuckers would look at it and go, God damn, I bleed just like them. I get hungry just like them. I want the same shit. If they would do that, then they would understand. But like I said, 74.4 of corporate America thinks that shit belongs to them. Because that's what's happening. And 74.4% of corporate America are a group of very powerful people who they'll fuck around, they can take me out just like that. I'll put this out tomorrow, I could be gone. Dead, gone. And it wouldn't be a murder. It'd be something like I choked on a fucking, you know what I'm saying? I choked on an apple or some shit, like where it wouldn't even look that fucked up. And I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how powerful these people are. They can make shit happen. My point is, they can make shit happen. Love my hair. They can make shit happen. But like I said, man, I ain't tripping. I mean, you live for something, right? You gotta live for something, right? You gotta die for something too, right? Either live ignorant, die ignorant. Or live for something, die for something. That's a good death to me. Die for something, you live for something. That's a good life. That's worth living. Not dying in some retirement home, hoping somebody wants to pay attention to. No. Whatever it is that you see and you believe in, you gotta go for it, man. And what I believe in right now is the fact that these imbalances and inconsistencies not only must be recognized by the masses, but most importantly, this is how I do my part. You know what I'm saying, with my music and out there with the young bucks, with the young kids, you know, with the little homies, you know. That's where I do my job. I get out in the street and I take these little guys in and I talk to them and I help them any way I can. I get them shoes. I put them in basketball programs. I take them to school. Whatever the fuck I need to do to get them home safe where they can be alive, I'll do that. I'll do that. Whatever way I can give them the information to know what war that they have been used over and been used as fucking tokens and we ain't shit to them. I'm gonna give this information as much as I can so people can understand not only the like I said, the imbalances, the inconsistencies, but then y'all motherfuckers will know that, and if anything ever happened to me, y'all motherfuckers know where I stand. Y'all know where I stand. And I stand with nature and I stand with my people. And both of those have been held fucking hostage by fucking white men. Every piece of Africa, every piece of this earth, colonized by white men. The natural resource of black people of this earth, colonized by white men and monetized and used as fucking pieces of money-making tools. Ever since the first interaction, I can't name a time. Can somebody please throw it in the comments? Name a time black people worldwide were living in a state of peace and tranquility, surplus, ever since the interaction with Europeans. Give me a time period. Give you some homework. Give me a time period that black people, dark-skinned people, had an era of tranquility and surplus after meeting the Europeans. Give me one, ever since the Europeans came over to Africa, or the place they call Africa. That ain't even what we fucking call it. That tells you right there. But ever since then, tell me if there's ever been a period of time where the country of Africa, the people of Africa thrived after meeting the fucking Europeans and dealing with them. Ever since we've been in goddamn chains. Ever since we've been in chains. Ever since it's been 74.4% them, 3% us. We on the field, they're at the boss's chair. We're on the football field, they're in the skybox. We can't work, can't get a job, they're in the corporate office. Changing laws. And they ain't even got shit to do with the law. But they're changing the laws just because they're making that much goddamn money. That's the shit I'm talking about. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't look at me, and people know my heart. Y'all know my soul. Y'all know me. The people who know me, y'all know me. Y'all know my intentions. Y'all know who I am. So understand, if this got me the way I am now, if this has me so, y'all know me, then you have to understand that there really is something wrong out here. These numbers, I didn't just pull these motherfucking numbers out the sky. Don't ask me. Don't ask. Don't wonder. Don't say we're lazy. Know that y'all motherfuckers don't want us to play. Y'all don't want us in the game. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Peace.